This segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. All right, welcome back. We want to talk about some news popping around here in Terrebonne Parish. First Lieutenant Blake Tabor is on the desk with us, and by now you have heard, or people in the audience have heard, that human remains have been found. So maybe we could start with that one, because the buzz
absolutely
all over the town is about that.
Sure. Yeah. So this one's a pretty interesting case, and this one has kind of garnered a lot of interest on social media, as most cases like this do. This was some information that surfaced on Sunday when a local resident in the 100 block of Westwood Drive on the east side made a call into our office saying that she believed she saw some human bones on her property. Again, it's not every day that we get this type of call, and
really?
We certainly want to take this seriously, but there has been instances where we have shown up and it was animal bone or different things, right? So again, we always do our due diligence. Deputies quickly responded to the scene, and once they were there, she pointed them in the area where she believed the bones to be, and of course, once deputies arrived, they were able to substantiate that it was in fact human bones and human remains. So again, once that happened, everything goes into effect, right? Detectives come, crime scene investigators respond, and that's what they did. So, they did their due diligence, and this is an ongoing investigation. There's not much we can share other than what's in the press release, but I can assure you our detectives are working very diligently on this case.
Yeah, you're right. This is unusual in the fact that a handful of times in my time on the news desk have we talked about bones being dug up somewhere, or some people may be digging a pond.
Sure.
And they find bones. We've had that
absolutely
situation before, but for a person to find bones on their property, I guess it's a little alarming to the person making the call too.
Absolutely. And there's always those questions is why did it take so long to notice it? Why, and again, there's a lot of factors that go into this, some which may be hard for people to believe, but, they're in fact true, and there's no foul play that we can see at this point on the part of the caller.
Right.
And so, again, it's in its infant phases, and, we're just going to continue to peck away at it until we know some more information.
You make a good point there, because sometimes the caller will say, well, man, if I make the call, they're going to think I'm involved in it. But that's not the case a lot of times. We just watch too much TV, don't we?
Absolutely. And look, this kind of cases, we've seen pretty regularly in this area. When we were covering the serial killer, years and years ago, we found multiple complaints where there were bones that were recovered in areas off of Woodlawn Ranch. So, it's always to err on the side of caution. Whether you think it's human remains or not, call and let the experts identify that.
No doubt. I know you have another press release that you're going to be bringing to us, so I'll give you the floor.
Absolutely. So this was a traffic stop that occurred on May 16th, shortly after 9 p.m. when our agents with the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office Narcotics Division were doing some proactive patrols in the area of Main Project Road when they encountered a vehicle that had a burnt headlight. Ultimately, they made a stop on that particular vehicle and identified a Denzel T. Harris, 27-year-old male. You see him photographed here. Once they got into that traffic stop, there were some circumstances that kind of led them to be able to or want to search that particular vehicle. When they asked permission from Harris to search the vehicle, he in fact cooperated and gave the authorities the opportunity to search. When they did, they quickly located a handgun that was inside of the vehicle. During the course of this, anytime we're checking drivers or anything, we're also checking criminal history. We're doing a lot of these different things that are sort of routine to what we do. And they were able to determine that Harris was in fact a convicted felon. So of course that heightened the level of safety when we find a firearm there. And then ultimately, further investigation revealed that that particular firearm was in fact stolen out of the Thibodaux Police Department. So we're able to take a stolen gun off the street, take another gun out of a dangerous offender's hand, and ultimately he was arrested for several charges: possession of firearm by convicted felon, illegal possession of a stolen firearm, and also a traffic-related offense. He is still incarcerated on a $100,000 bond by local judges.
All right. So let's say, and I know y'all have other things in-house that the sheriff will get with me on that y'all working on.
Sure.
Let's talk about, I saw you at a meeting the other night at across the street of St. Matthew. The parish president was there. He's going to come on next week and talk about it. But y'all making large efforts to take care of certain things that are happening in the neighborhood. So neighborhood watch and a lot of homeless people meandering around. Y'all putting a lot of thought into that.
Absolutely. Look, this is a big component of what we do with community policing, right? And, there's the revitalization of areas and businesses downtown, which, we are all aboard trying to do what we can, but the important thing is for people to understand it's not always as easy as just going out with a homeless person or a person that appears to be homeless.
Right.
The vast majority of people in our area that are deemed homeless are not in fact homeless. There are very few, and there are cases where they are homeless, but it's about tapping those people into the resources to do the right thing and to get everyone cooperating and moving in the right direction.
But it was good to see you there, and also Houma PD and all the brass of government there, and large group.
Absolutely.
So,
very impressive.
thank you, First Lieutenant. Always good seeing you, Blake.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll take a short break. We'll be back with a lot more, so don't go away. This segment was brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke. Know your rights.